Alright, so we are starting easy number 7 now. Looking at the 9s again. If you didn't see that video, I want to remind you that you can start with any number you want to. I just start with the 9s because it's kind of my habit. I'm not sure if I'm superstitious about it, but I do just tend to do it. So this 9 blocks out that, this 9 blocks out that, so this has to be in that upper row, which helps us to find that this has to be in the middle row. This has to be in this column. That's a little helpful. The 8s, oh, this is nice. Both of these rows and both of these columns are blocked out, so that one has to be there. Both columns and this row is knocked out, so that's got to be there. This row and this row are knocked out, so that has to be there. And now we have both of these rows and both of these columns, so that 8 is there. All right, these 7s, we know that this has to be in the bottom, and we know that that can't be here, so it's got to be there or there. Not a whole lot more than that. Let's look at the 6s. Well, this is something. So this block's here, so we know that the 6 has to be in here. Now, I don't like to notate when there's that many options, but what I will notate is that it cannot be in the top row. It's got to be in the middle or the bottom row. Likewise, this also has to be in the middle and the bottom, or the bottom row, which means that this one has to be in the top row on either side right there. This also clears this just like the 7 did, so now these are a locked set. One of these is the 6, one is the 7, that's guaranteed, which means that the 2 numbers that are missing from this block, the 2 and the 3, have to be in here. I see this 2 is here, so I can fill that in right away, and then I know that's the 3. Just get you there a little faster. While I'm still on the 3s, I'll notate that those 2 are clearing out those 2 rows. This clears out that column, so there's that 3. This clears out that column. The rows cleared out here. That's that 3. These 2 columns are clear. Has to be here or here, but that one's already knocked out, so there it is. Now, these 2 rows are knocked out, so it has to be here or here, and we don't know which side yet. I think we're about ready to find out though, because these 2 rows are knocked out. This column is, and that means that's its only place left, and that means that one has to be there. All right, so where was I? I was on the 7s. Oh look, now I've got a little bit more information. So that 7 blocks out there. So this 7 has to be in the middle column, and this one has to be over here in any of those. To the 6s, nothing too exciting there. 5s, oh, looks like we have quite a bit of information on the 5s. So these 2 columns are blocked, so it's got to be the middle column, can't be the second row, it's got to be the last row. Here we have the 2 side columns, so it's got to be the middle column, but it can't be down here, so it's got to be there. And here we have these 2 columns, so there it is. The 4, see, this blocks that column and this blocks that row, so the only one left is there. This blocks those 2 columns, so we've got that. And oh, this row and that row, that means that the 4 has to be here. Now look, we also have the 9 that has to be there. So that's one of those locked pairs, which means it's not going to be a 7. It's either going to be the 4 or the 9. Together, those 2 have to be the 4 and the 9. All right. Anything else on the 4s? Not yet. 2s. This column's blocked. This row's blocked. There's a 2. These 2 columns are blocked. This row's blocked. There's that 2. And this row is blocked. These 2 columns are blocked. There's that 2. To the 1s, this one has to be in the bottom row. This has to be in the middle column, and there's only 1 space left in that middle column. This is blocked by that. This is blocked by that. So this one has to be in that side row, which means that this one has to be in that side row. And that blocks that, so that one has to be one of those 2. All right, To the 9s we go. Lots has changed. So no 9, no 9, yes 9. And what we notice here is we don't know which one of these three is a 9, but we know that it has to be in this middle or the right-hand column, as does this one. So that means those two columns are already decided, so this one has to be in the left column. We know this one has to be in the middle column, which means it has to be what I refer to as an up-down. Also, this 9 just made that 4 definitive, which now clears that column and means that 4 has to be there. Now both of those columns are done, and that 4 has to be there. Now that's blocked that, so that 4 has to be there, that one has to be there, and this one has to be in this column, but not here, so there. We'll go back to the 6s. All right, this 6 is clear because it's the last one. That made this one clear. That now blocked that, so this one is in that middle column. We know that this 6 blocks that row, so this one's in that bottom row. We also now know that the 1 and the 6 are a locked pair, kicking that 9 out and putting it up there. And now this 9 has to be down there. That blocks this, and there. So lots of information there. To the 7, last one, that blocks that row, meaning that has to be a 7, and this is the last one, that's got to be 7, this is the last one, it's got to be a 7, and then it needs to be either here or here. Now that makes it a locked pair with the 1, so those are the 1 and the 7, meaning the 6 gets kicked out and has to be down here. This 6 blocks this entire column, so it's got to be over here, and now that column's blocked, so that 6 is there. That becomes a no. That was already a no, so this is the yes. That made that a no, and that a yes. To the 1s, only one left. That now makes that a no, and this a yes. This is the only one left, so that's the yes, making that a no, and that a yes, making that a no, and that a yes. And the 7s finish off this puzzle.